Thanks for joining us. Today we're talking to Josh Bongard about Xenobots. What are Xenobots? I don't know, but we are going to find out. It has something to do with the future of biological robots, and I'm being told that they reproduce in an interesting and an unusual way. So we're going to find out about that and leave it to Jesse to find the most extraordinary people and invite them onto this podcast. So let's be curious, let's listen, and maybe ask some questions.
So Josh, 4 years ago when this all started, were you a fan of biomimicry, or, was this something you studied before?
When what all started, though? When what all started? Jesse.
Okay. The Xenobot, the birth of the Xenobots.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right, 2019. What do you mean by biomimicry? That term means a lot of different things to different people.
Were you looking at, nature one day out there in Vermont and, studying Janine Benyus and sort of seeing, the way that nature was developing, a bird's claw, things like that. And then, a wing, and thinking, well, wait a minute, how could I use this at a different scale? Like, how did the original idea for the Xenobots come up?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the short answer to your question is yes. So I consider myself a roboticist. And like most roboticists, I mean, we look at nature, we look at every animal that, walks, swims, flies, and that informs the way that we make machines. So, yes, my lab and I have been bio-inspired since day one, but also maybe not in the way specifically that you're asking, and that, at least for my part, I did not see the Xenobots coming at all. It was one of these, rare things that happens in science that was accidental. A lot of the most exciting stories from science are about the eureka moment, the surprising thing, which in my personal experience doesn't happen too often, but this was definitely one of those times.
What is a Xenobot, though? Because the audience may not know.
Sure. So for those that don't know, allow me to try and paint a picture in your mind. So a Xenobot is a millimeter across biological robot. So let me unpack that for a moment. So I'm Canadian, I use the metric system. So a millimeter across, if you saw a Xenobot with the unaided eye, they swim about in fresh water, it would look like a moving speck of pepper. You can just barely make it out with the naked eye. It's called a biological robot because it is biological. It's built from frog cells. We take frog cells from basically a frog egg and put them together into a new pattern. And this thing swims or walks. It does something that we want. So we're basically making a machine. We're making a new thing that does what we want, which is why we refer to it as a robot. I'm happy to go into more details about how we make all that happen, but that's a Xenobot in a nutshell.
Thank you.
So you're a roboticist. I assume that, at the beginning, you're thinking about robots as machines that you manufacture. So where does the insight to use cells to create the same thing happen?
Yeah, good question. So this was a team effort. The initial project, there were four of us, myself and my then PhD student Sam Kriegman, who is also a roboticist. And we teamed up with two biologists at Tufts University, Michael Levin and Doug Blackiston. The four of us got together and got some funding from the government, and we had sort of a vague idea of what we wanted to do. It had nothing to do with Xenobots. It was something vaguely about combining biology and robotics. And we started by having Zoom calls with each other and sort of showing the other two gents on the call what we could do. So in our case, we showed videos of soft, squishy robots walking around and moving around. And Doug Blackiston, one of the biologists, he's a very talented microsurgeon. What that means is he can look through the microscope and with very, very small instruments build things from the cell up, but by hand. And so Doug, if you ask him, he'll tell you he was inspired by some of our robot videos. So he took some frog cells and tried to put them together to make a copy of some of the things he'd seen the previous week on our Zoom call. And the next week, when it was the biologist's turn to present to us, Doug showed not a video, but an image of this tiny, tiny thing that looked like one of our robots, but it wasn't built from metal. It wasn't built from silicon. It was built from frog cells. And it's one of those flashpoint moments. I'll always remember this. There was just complete silence on the call. It wasn't quite clear what we were looking at, but the implication of what this could one day become started to sink in.
So, okay, he takes some cells, he puts them together in a shape, but that's still far, far away from being able to instruct it to take an action.
Yeah.
So what's the connection that makes it something that can understand what you're telling it to do?
Yeah, exactly. So that very first photo that Doug showed us, it wasn't a robot, it was a sculpture. So he took a specific type of frog cell. He took skin cells, and frog skin cells are very much like our skin cells. They obviously don't move of their own accord, or at least they don't move as a group when they're put together. It just kind of sits there. So like you, Sam and me, the roboticists, our first question was, first of all, wow, this is amazing. It's a sculpture. Can you get it to move? And so the next step was Doug went back to the frog, and in this case borrowed not skin cells, but heart muscle cells. Again, like human heart muscle cells, these are little cells that they increase and decrease in size. They pump and sort of get bigger and smaller. And if you put a whole bunch of frog or a whole bunch of human heart cells together, they talk to their neighbors and they say, okay, 1, 2, 3, go, and they all get smaller together. So together they act like a balloon or a heart, and they pump blood in and out. And so Doug's idea at that time was to use these heart cells as basically the motors in the Xenobot. And it took another year to get this to work, but eventually he could put skin and heart cells together from a frog so that this thing was no longer a sculpture. It was something that would move. It was now a robot.
Is there a prompt for it to move? In other words, like you turn on the button, like what gets it to move?
Yeah, great question. So where does the prompt or the idea to like do something come from? So I've introduced you to a few members of this team, the 4 human members, and then the frog is the 5th member of our cast. There's a 6th member, which is the AI. So in my group here, we do robotics, but we also do AI. So my PhD student, Sam Kriegman, he coded up an AI, and Sam, in essence, told the AI, figure out how to put frog skin and frog heart cells together so that if we actually did it, this thing would walk, it would move. So the AI then churned away on a supercomputer here in Vermont for a couple of weeks. And from the AI's perspective, they're not cells, they're like Lego bricks. It's trying to put all these Lego bricks together. It doesn't work. It tries a different way. This is all inside the computer. It's like us thinking through a chess problem or like composing an email in our head. It's not actually doing anything yet in the real world. It's just thinking, trying out ideas of what it thinks might work and what might not work. And then after 2 weeks, the AI sent back to us a blueprint. It said, put skin here, put heart here, put skin here, put heart here, and the AI said, if you do that in reality, I think it's going to walk along the bottom of the Petri dish. And again, this is science. It didn't work. And eventually the AI proposed something. Doug built it under the microscope and it walked along the bottom of the Petri dish.
Amazing.
Does that mean that you have to use the AI to write a new operating system for this robot?
Yeah, interesting. So we're using the term, robot and biological machine and AI. And so, language only gets us so far, then you have to get into the math, which we won't do today. Mm-hmm. It's not clear that there really is an operating system for the frog, or for that matter, for us, right? What is our operating system? We have genes and we've been evolved to do certain things. We have inbuilt drives and all of that. They're all still there in the Xenobot. These are just frog cells. They're also genetically unmodified cells, I should mention. This is not genetic engineering. So these frog cells are doing whatever normal frog cells do, but they've been rearranged by the AI. So back to your mention of operating systems, it's almost like we've reconfigured or reprogrammed, a normal frog to look and act completely different from what a normal frog would look and act like.
And can you manufacture a lot of them, or the other gentleman you mentioned, is he doing them each by hand?
At the moment, it's still all by hand. So this is also artisanal robotics. Doug is an extremely talented microsurgeon. No coffee, no Coca-Cola, no caffeine. He's got very, very steady hands. It takes him a couple of hours to make 1 millimeter sized Xenobot. This is the most expensive, animal on the planet at the moment in terms of billable hours. But as you've anticipated, one of the many things that we're working on now is how to scale this up to be able to manufacture very large numbers of these machines.
So for me, what is the difference? Like you said, you all had the aha moment. What is the difference between, kind of a manufactured, non-natural built robotic and this? What are the implications? Where can this take us that the others cannot, or the other?
Great question. So we don't have enough time even close to talk about all the implications. So I'll just mention a few. As I mentioned, I'm a roboticist. So we've been building traditional robots out of metal and batteries and sensors and motors for many, many years. And the problem with current robots, even the Boston Dynamics ones, the very fancy robots we see on YouTube, they're machines. They're like our phones. They're like our cars. When they break, when something goes wrong, they stay broken. Or worse, they do something very unexpected that they're not programmed to do. They don't recover. Alternatively, organisms, we suffer injuries and unexpected situations all day, every day. And the cells that make up us, the cells have 3.5 billion years of experience with dealing with the real world. If you ask a cell, it has seen everything. It can handle a lot of situations, thankfully. So when you build robots out of cells, you inherit, 3.5 billion years of experience, from the School of Hard Knocks. So in our first scientific paper that we published about the Xenobots, one of the things we did was to take this millimeter-sized robot and cut it almost in half. If I cut your laptop almost in half, you know exactly what's going to happen, which is you're going to toss it in the garbage. That's it. In the case of the Xenobot, after a few hours, it stitches itself back together again and continues on in the dish. Not because the Xenobot is magical or super smart, it's because, like us, it's made from cells. And so that's, I would say, the number one implication about trying to build smart machines from cells rather than from metal.
Now, can it replicate itself?
So the third paper we published was about exactly this, and the title was basically replicating Xenobots. Again, the answer is yes and no. In that experiment, what we showed is that if you take about 20 Xenobots, and they have a particular shape, they look like Pac-Man from the 80s arcade game. They're round, but they have a big concave mouth on the front. And they basically act like 20 little shovels. They move about in the dish. And if Doug, our microsurgeon, sprinkles individual frog cells into the dish, additional cells, the shovels will push like snow those cells into piles. And it turns out that these frog cells, if they sit together in a pile for a while, those cells are talking to one another. And it's not clear at all at the moment what exactly they're saying, but they communicate with one another, and they eventually grow very small hairs on the surface of this pile. And these hairs are called cilia. We also have them in certain parts of our body, and they beat against the water and they end up acting like little small oars. And these piles will start to move after about 24 hours. And if you sprinkle more cells in the dish, those piles will make more piles, which make more piles. And so you can see how this is a form of replication. You have parent Pac-Man Xenobots that make baby Xenobots. There's several things that are interesting about this. The one that I'll mention is that, yes, they replicate, but this form of replication, this way of making babies, has never been observed in nature before. It's not like the way any other species makes copies of itself. So like everything with the Xenobots, they are kind of like what we see in nature, but also not like what we see in nature.
Well, what is different? Is it different kinds of cells coming together? What makes it different?
In nature, pretty much everything that reproduces does so by growing. So, humans and mammals, we grow our babies inside ourselves. Plants grow seeds on the outside of themselves. They're always growing something and then releasing it into the wild. This is not growth-based replication. It's technically called kinematic replication. Kinematic just means movement. So these bots move around and they find stuff in the environment and push that stuff in the right way to make a copy of themselves by assembly of stuff out there, not by growing something in or on themselves. That's the difference.
So when you look down the road, how much computation does it take to sort of do this? It's hard to get time on a supercomputer. So it's like, Are you, do you have just unlimited time on there to work on these things, or is that a limitation?
It is currently a limitation. It takes us about 2 weeks to generate a new blueprint. So it is very computationally expensive, but we're not that worried about it. Like a lot of technologies, things are super inefficient at the beginning, right? How long it took to build a Model T car. And so we're pretty optimistic that we can make this process much more efficient so that, laptops can spit out designs. It's a roadblock for the moment, but I'd say it's a temporary roadblock. It's not a big issue for us.
And beyond the frogs, though, what other are you looking towards? What other species would you be starting to do this with?
Yeah, so we're going to now start talking beyond my area of expertise. I'm the roboticist, not the biologist. But if Mike and Doug were here, they would tell you that we are absolutely looking at some other species to see whether we can replicate this process with other species. And you can probably guess that there's one species in particular that we are interested in. Exactly.
Yeah.
Us.
Well,
okay.
Stay tuned.
Well,
Stay tuned.
When you look down the road, because obviously you're at the beginning of this research, what kinds of problems do you think you can point this at? Can it clean up industrial waste? Can it, what kinds of things come to mind as where this might go?
Yeah, a good question. It's a brand new technology, and your guess is as good as mine, but I will offer you my guess. As you mentioned, in the short term, the first applications are probably going to be environmental remediation. We mentioned actually in the first paper, like cleaning microplastics out of waterways. At the moment, there's attempts to do this with boats and drones and little underwater robots. The problem is, if you want to do that at scale, you're putting a lot of metal back into the ocean to get this stuff out. Those machines break down and they add to the pollution they're trying to clean up. The Xenobots are 100% biodegradable. They're biocompatible, meaning if a fish eats one, it's perfectly fine. It's like eating a frog. And they just, they rot back into the natural surrounding. So they're a green technology in more ways than one. So those are the short-term applications. Long-term applications are medical. So if we can someday figure out how to make these biobots from human cells, you could imagine making one of them from a human patient's own cells, and they may ingest or inject these machines. And it would bypass the immune response because the biobot is literally the human patient. Again, that's further off, but there's no theoretical reason why that couldn't be achieved someday. I'll finish with the last set of sort of applications are sort of scientific and philosophical. They're changing the way we think about biology. We were all taught in, high school biology that frog genes make frogs and human genes make make humans. Here you have genetically unmodified frog cells that make something that, you wouldn't know is a frog. So, whatever we were taught in school about genes making that animal, completely wrong. They're sort of exploding our comfortable position of where we kind of think we know what's going on in nature. The Xenobots are making it clear we have no idea what's really going on or even what's possible. What can we make? What can we get Mother Nature to make on our behalf? I think for many of us, that's kind of the most exciting set of implications.
The cells you're working with now are skin cells, heart cells. Have you worked with cells that are the beginning of the frog so that you go back to the way it's being manufactured, because in essence, it's doing the same thing in a more complex way, or like you say, over billions of years of evolution. Is there some thought about that?
Yeah, it's a great question. So again, I'll speak for my biology colleagues. I know they are looking at trying to broaden the palette, so to speak. So they're looking at making available to the AI other cell types from frog, different cell types from different species, so that the AI can build with a greater range of building blocks. But it's interesting what you say. The Xenobots are very far from frog. They look and act completely different from frogs. You could, in theory, ask the AI to make a slightly stronger frog, or a slightly faster frog, or a slightly longer lived frog. You could ask the AI to, take one step to the left, compared to what Mother Nature has already invented. We don't have to create something completely different, although that is currently a lot of fun.
I'm really so curious about the AI, and I think people watching this are going to want to understand, because it's in our culture right now. Everybody's thinking about it. The real understanding, the implications of when you say the AI and the interactivity of that. Yeah. Can you expand on that a little bit further?
Sure. Yeah. Good question. So there's a lot of buzzwords out there at the moment around AI. You might have heard the buzzword generative AI. That's one way that AI is referred to. And all it simply means is an AI that generate things. So when you play around with ChatGPT, it's generating, English sentences. That's what it does. When you use the AI artist tools like DALL-E or Stable Diffusion, it generates a pretty picture. So we have AI that generates language, that generates images. Our generative AI, it generates an organism. So AI in general, one of the things that's exciting and also frightening to people is it's turning out to be not easy, but relatively easy to create AI and ask it to make stuff, to generate stuff. And it seems that it's relatively adept at doing that with language, music, images, and now biology as well.
So obviously there's a problem with CO2 emissions. We have too much CO2 in the atmosphere. Is there an issue that you create a Xenobot that eats CO2 emissions and, they eat too many CO2 emissions and the Earth dies? Is there a way that you can turn them off? Is this a ethical concern? Is it, how do you think about this kind of problem?
It's a great question. We obviously think about this a lot. And part of the reason why we published this third paper about replicating Xenobots is it allows us to study replication, or basically study biology that grows exponentially. This is something that humans don't understand very well. I mean, we just, we're coming out the far end of this 3-year battle with COVID, this thing that replicates out of control, and it's not so good for us. Very difficult to figure out how to contain those sorts of situations. What we showed in this paper is you can teach an AI to amplify replication. It's actually making the Xenobots more replicative. And for a lot of folks that we've talked to, they said, why the heck would you ever want to do that? It sounds like a recipe for disaster. It's, again, a tool for understanding. If an AI can accelerate replication, if it can figure out how to make Xenobots that make more Xenobots, maybe we can teach AI to also figure out how to snuff out Xenobots, to figure out how to turn them off. Because we've tried to turn off the COVID switch, and we've done an okay job. It took us a while. Maybe AI could figure out a way to snuff out self-replicating systems better than we can.
Like cancer cells, for example.
Could be, right. We are attacked on all sides by things that grow out of control. It is the number one issue that we face on this planet as human beings. So if AI is so smart, can it figure out how to turn it on, turn it off, turn it down, switch it into something else? Can we gain more control through AI over these out of control processes? The answer at the moment is we don't know, but I think we have a moral imperative to try.
So as you go further with the computation and you get to quantum computers where we don't really understand how they make decisions, could it possibly create things with these cells that are unanticipated, where can we make sure that they're not going to destroy humanity? Can we ask it to, can we ask it somehow to, is there a guardrail that can be created against that kind of issue?
Yeah, short answer is absolutely not. There is no guarantee here. On the other hand, I think, and again, this is something that's being talked about a lot right now, as AI is being viewed as this dangerous thing. Humans are way better than AI at, getting close to extincting ourselves. We have developed much more dangerous things. My view, and again, I'm biased because I work in the space of robotics and AI. I think, we need better tools. The tools themselves are guardrails on us. They suggest new ideas, new ways of thinking, to try and innovate our way out of, some of the problems we've created. We've done pretty well for ourselves. But, we now live on this very complicated planet with this complicated civilization. This is not what monkey brains were evolved to handle. We're trying our best, but we could definitely use some help.
Are you using CRISPR, to stitch these cells together, or are you using older tools? Or is this just things that have been available now? The tools that you're actually using, are they tools that have really just been developed recently in order to come up with these thoughts?
Yep. Again, I'll speak for my biology colleagues. We are not using CRISPR. We are not using any gene editing technologies whatsoever. What we're interested in is this new approach where the cells, they're amenable to suggestion. If you put them together in the right way, they collectively will do what you want. Mm-hmm. Again, cells have been around for 3.5 billion years. They're extremely powerful. They are actually the smartest things on the planet, not us, unfortunately. So you bring in an AI, and the AI at least seems to be smart enough to figure out how to put these cells together so that when they're put together in this new way, they communicate, figure things out, and then do at the organism level what you want them to do. That, at least for what we've looked at so far, you don't need CRISPR. The cells already know how to do it. It's like if you want your computer to do something differently, you don't go and reach in and muck about with the electronics, which is like DNA editing. There's this thing called software, which runs on top of fixed hardware. We're getting the cells to we're basically reprogramming the cells, not by mucking about with their genetics, but just by changing their neighbors and putting them in new situations. And that leads to new functionality on its own. It's unclear kind of how this works, but the AI seems to be gaining some understanding over this process.
So you talked about Boston Dynamics earlier. They're developing robots, that are about balance and movement and in difficult terrain, different things like that. And the tools they're using are manufactured steel and wires and all these kinds of things. Over these years now, have you moved away from that kind of robotics into this new version where it's cells? And are you seeing this as a new area that's going to start to grow?
Absolutely. As I said before, there's whole new opportunities that open up when you build machines with cells rather than metal. It doesn't necessarily mean that the Xenobots are better than traditional robotics or vice versa. They're just different. And we've talked about many of the ways that they're different. Again, like many technologies, I expect what will eventually happen in the long term is we'll figure out ways to combine the best of both worlds. And this is an idea that biologists and roboticists are already playing around with. And these are known as biohybrids. That you make a machine where some of the components are technological and some of the components are biological. At the moment, the Xenobots are completely biological, but they could incorporate technological components in the future.
Sort of a Battlestar Galactica kind of approach.
Yeah, but not, that's right. But I think the things that we're going to get in the end aren't going to look anything recognizable, as the Xenobots show. It's not going to be an android, a beautiful android. Whatever it'll be stranger than we can imagine at the moment. I think.
In bioinformatics, as it goes further, it used to be you'd have medical people who did medical things, you'd have people who did sort of the computation, those two would never speak. And then now there are whole teams of people where you have these two disciplines and many other kinds of disciplines thrown together, philosophy, people you wouldn't have to think about that wouldn't be part of a team. Is the nature of your team different and the people that you need different than when you began, and how has that evolved?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So our scientific team is growing faster than the technology itself. As we start to make other cells and other species available to the AI, we need, experts in those cells, those species, ecologists, ethicists, specialists in regulation. We had a meeting with the FDA. They were starting to figure out how would you even start to regulate something like the Xenobot? Is it a machine? Is it a medicine? Is it a vaccine? Is it a prosthetic? What is it? There's like basic philosophical questions here about what are these things that we're making that require, a team of very diverse experts to channel this into beneficial ends.
On that question, what is the drive to make these initially? What was the drive to do it?
Yep. I have to admit, the drive was let's just try. Let's just see if we can do it. As I mentioned, Doug was kind of inspired and he just wanted to sit down to see if he could do it, if he could make one. So, and I think, this is possibly one of the greatest benefits of science is it possible? And then if it is possible, then it's up to us as a society to decide what we want to do with it now that we know it's possible.
The pandemic definitely has made it so that, like our company, we don't even have to have people go to the office anymore. They can work from anywhere. You built a team from another state or another place. You talk to them on Zoom. Has collaboration changed over these last few years in order so that when you need somebody else, you could just reach out and touch them on Zoom and create collaboration and, Google Docs and all those kinds of things to work on together?
Yeah, I think, physical location really doesn't, for the kinds of things we do, doesn't matter anymore. I mean, that being said, there is a lot of biology here. So there are a lot of benches, there's a lot of test tubes, there's a lot of freezers. So for the biologists, yes, they need to be in the same place at the same time with their animals. That hasn't changed. But as the non-biology members of the team are proliferating, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, absolutely.
And what did the FDA, they probably haven't come to terms yet with this because it's such on the edge and there's some very smart people over there.
Sure.
What did they think? What were their thoughts?
Yeah, it was a really good meeting. Wisely, no decisions were made. It was basically almost like this, just trying to learn about the technology and really understand it before we start trying to regulate it. You can look at AI now, which is a different model. It's already out of the box. It's here. And, society is on the back foot. We're trying to catch up and regulate this stuff retroactively. And I hope we're successful, but it's not the best way to proceed. Better to learn about a technology while it's still, in the lab. There's no practical applications yet. The basics are still being worked out. So it was a good discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I think that artificial intelligence has moved past us already. I'm not sure they'll be able to get it back in the box.
Right.
Same with synthetic biology, although is this synthetic biology or is this because you're using natural processes, so it's not really synthetic biology. It's like maybe nobody knows what it is yet.
Yeah, it is and it isn't. It's biology and it's not natural. So yes, it's synthetic biology. My biology colleague Mike Levin refers to this as synthetic morphology. So morphology is the technical term for, the shape of things. The Xenobot has a completely new shape, it looks completely different from frog. You're making new organisms. So we're using this term synthetic morphology to distinguish it from synthetic biology, which for most people implies, gene editing and CRISPR and bioinformatics, as you mentioned. This is definitely something quite different.
I want to ask a question that Jesse just raised, actually, and it has to do with, AI is in front of us. What are some of the specific ways you are monitoring or thinking about the ethics and the growth, the potential growth, so that you can stay as much as possible lockstep with this? How do you even do that?
Well, I don't know. Again, we're a small team. We have a bioethicist now on the team, coming back to the question about expertise, Jantine Lunsoff. And Jantine is based at Harvard. She's a bioethicist, and she's helping us think through these issues. And our current thinking is upstream and downstream. And what I mean by that is when we actually spoke to the FDA, they were starting to think about how to regulate that Xenobot, the thing that we showed in the video. But we explained that the AI, even while we were meeting with the FDA, it's already designing the blueprint for the next Xenobot and the one after that and the one after that. You look at the auto industry, they don't regulate a 2014 Honda Civic. It just doesn't make sense. You regulate cars, or better yet, the system that produces cars, the manufacturing complex. So how do you work upstream? How do you regulate the whole thing that produces these new kinds of organisms? Now, how to do that, I don't know, but that's part of the challenge with AI as well. It's generating stuff so fast. You can't regulate or control its products. You have to work upstream.
What's the query like to design a new Xenobot?
Yep. At the moment, the query it's math. It's not like a ChatGPT prompt. But what the math basically says is make a new kind of organism that's about 1 millimeter in size. It's perfectly happy in room temperature fresh water. And it walks along the bottom of the Petri dish at about 3 millimeters per second. So you're describing what you want the machine to do, and then the AI gives you back the machine that does that.
So are you showing it? Are you putting in a memory stream so that it understands what it built before, and so that it's trying to build a new version that's more efficient and better? And what is better?
Yeah, what is better? Exactly. So what we do is this mathematical expression that captures what we want the machine eventually to do. We give that equation to the computer, to the AI, and the AI basically uses it like a yardstick. So the AI will generate a random combination of cells in its head. It looks like the Matrix or a video game. It's all virtual. And then it applies this yardstick against the Xenobot, measures how well it does at moving 3 millimeters per second. If that Xenobot moves slowly, the AI throws that design away, makes a new one, compares it against the yardstick, and does this billions and billions of times. That part of the process is actually very, very simple. Yeah.
That's why it takes so long to run, why it takes 2 weeks to run.
Yep, exactly.
Is the next version to think about how it may interact with other kinds of Xenobots, so that you're going to run on the computer like, okay, well, here, we need you to do this task, and, start to create artificial shapes that it moves around, things like that?
Yeah, so actually I mentioned the Pac-Man robots that make copies of themselves. They work as a group. There's actually there's more than 2 parents. There's often 5 or 6 or 12 that make this pile, which becomes the new child. So the AI has already started to figure out how to create swarms that do something together that would be difficult or impossible for any one Xenobot to do on its own. For the AI, that's not such a big problem.
So do you say, okay, I want to design a group that'll eat CO2 emissions, use these pieces, and tell me what you got?
It's on the to-do list. The to-do list is very long, so we haven't, it's on the whiteboard, so to speak. We haven't got to that yet, but exactly. So walking along the bottom of Petri dish, not that exciting or not that practical.
Yeah.
Now it's, can you do the same thing, but do something that's actually useful for people?
Now you just have to knock all those other people who are trying to get time on the supercomputer out of the way.
Oh yeah, they're not so happy with us, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's fantastic work. Congratulations.
Thank
It
you.
is so, and before you came on, I said to Jesse, I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. And you've really illuminated so much and made it really, really clarified. I'm thinking that we need to invite you back with some of your colleagues.
Oh, please, yeah.
Ethicist in here, like I think this warrants a much more, a continuation and a larger conversation. I think it'd be really interesting, just because we're always interested in collaboration as well, and how teams are working together, the interface of science and technology and humanity, which is what you're doing. So
yeah,
it's a real pleasure. Thank you for talking to us about this.
Oh, it was my pleasure. You asked a lot of great questions. Thanks for your interest.
Yeah.
talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye, you guys.
Bye-bye.